groundbreaking ideas and powerful case studies. This afternoon, we begin with a series of sessions focused on big data analytics, exploring how data can be leveraged across industries to fuel insight, exploitation, and real business transformation. Let us dive in. Our first talk is titled Vision, Big Data, and AI, and it will be presented by Dr. Hani Elgebaly, founder and CEO of AvidBeam Technologies. In this session, Dr. Elgebaly will explore how AI-powered video analytics can transform real-time video into actionable insights across safety, security, and business operations. He'll connect the scalability of big data with real-world implementation in industry, demonstrating the future of visual intelligence. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Hani Elgebaly.
Thank you, Mariam, for this nice introduction, and thank you all for coming to this session. My name is Hani Elgebaly. I'm the CEO and founder of AvidBeam Technologies. We've been in this business since 2014. Basically, it's a different type of AI. It's not generative AI, although I'll touch base on how it links with generative AI, but it's basically computer vision and how AI deep learning can combine with computer vision and big data tools can generate a new paradigm of industries or applications for industries, different industries. We'll talk through that. I want to talk like a lot of, I won't like mention a lot of technical jargon in my speech. I'll try to make it basic, and I'll talk about like more about use cases, and also like at the end, maybe I'll talk a little bit about AI ethics in computer vision. So what is video analytics? So video analytics is basically, it takes the stream from a surveillance camera in real time, process it, and generates knowledge from the video streams for the customer. And the customer could be somebody who's interested in security, or could be somebody who's interested in operations, or could be somebody who's interested in business intelligence or safety. So we'll talk about a little bit about like what are the use cases in each and every vertical or of these industries. So here, what we do one thing. We are a software company, AI software company. So we build models, and we try to scale these models across many surveillance cameras. So it could be like thousands, it could be tens of thousands. And basically what we do is we detect the objects, we track the, it's very important to track the object, because like if you want to count, you don't want to count, because imagine like like you get 30 frames per second. So if you start counting the person would appear for maybe 4 or 5 seconds in the time domain, and you can count the person like so many times unless you track them. And then there's the recognition. And then beyond the recognition, there is the analytics. So there's the how to process the insights that you get to generate like more interesting information to the customer. So imagine like a city like London. They have so many surveillance cameras, maybe 400,000. These 400,000 could be like 10 million hours of video per day could generate about 1 hour of video could generate 60 gigabytes. So imagine one day, if 50% of the cameras are active, these could generate 720 gigabytes per camera per day. And that's a huge amount of data that are being generated. And if they are not processed, then it's a waste of investment. The old school, or in the old days, even still existing today, that people will just go and look at the different cameras in a big showroom. I think that's like a complete waste of time, because what happens is that after 20 minutes of the observation, these guys will lose interest. They might go for breaks. They might go and they might like fall asleep. They would have to leave for like to go to the washrooms, etc. So it's not practical to continue to use this method anymore, and you need to have other tools to be able to tell you what are the alarms and the alerts and the intelligence that could be produced. So, these are the only technical slides I'm going to show. So these are, perhaps maybe some of you are familiar with these names. And it's important, like if you're in AI, like you should know about all of these guys. So OpenCV, TensorFlow, OpenCL, CafeMod, these are all tools that are being used for creating models. And then, of course, like you would have to use data sets to train using neural networks. And of course, you would use NVIDIA, or like you'd use GPUs in general. NVIDIA, of course, is the leader in this space. And DeepStream is the preferred infrastructure for their GPUs. And OpenVINO is the infrastructure for Intel. Now, once you create the model, you need to scale it. And you need to scale it by making sure that you can use the big data tools. And here, the big data tools are, like in the past, there were Hadoop and Spark and Storm and these guys. And now Kubernetes is the lead winner in this space. And then there are a lot of other tools by it, like the MongoDB, Elasticsearch, RabbitMQ, Kafka, etc. So these are all messaging and database protocols that you could use for scaling the metadata that is no SQL, that's not like the conventional database type of data. So you combine these together, you create something like this, which is like a platform that will take plugins from computer vision models, process them, and generate the, at the end here, the graphs and the insights for the customer to be able to understand what's going on or make sense of, about what's going on in their project. So what's the benefits of video analytics in general? Of course, it will improve the safety and security. It will provide also cost savings, because there are plenty of ways that you could, perhaps maybe in the business intelligence world with retail, there are plenty of like techniques that you could use in order to improve the efficiency and the effectiveness of your sales cycle using the business intelligence. And perhaps we will talk about, a little bit about it, like in the use cases. Also, it improves the user experience. So that's also quite useful with using video analytics. However, it comes with a few challenges. And the big challenges, of course, the first one is accuracy. People want to have 100% accuracy, and there's no such thing as 100% accuracy. So, that's a big challenge. And all of these, and then the second thing is how many use cases you want to support. So you might want to support like more than one use case on a camera. Some people would like to support maybe 5 or 10. And we'll talk about like these use cases and tell you what it is. And then you have also the performance. You want to make sure that you do all this with the minimum amount of hardware so that you can save on the cost of the solution. And unfortunately, if you want the highest accuracy, then you need to have the largest number or the largest amount of hardware and servers. And that's very expensive. And if you want to use many use cases also, you would need to have like many servers and many GPUs, and that's also expensive. So all of the three challenges are all conflicting. So you have to strike a balance between all of these in order also to, excuse me, to produce a product that is feasible, that people can buy, and also can be acceptable for the industry. So these are some of the verticals or the markets that can benefit from video analytics. And these are something that AvidBeam is present like almost in all of these verticals. So smart communities, smart cities, smart railways, metro stations, intelligent transportation system. So this is like the traffic violations and so on. Banks also make use of video analytics. Retail makes use of the video analytics. Oil and gas in safety, they make use of the same for industrial zones, and also healthcare. So this is a glimpse of what the use case could be like. So what can video analytics do on a surveillance camera? So you can do cross detection, You can do crowd detection. You can do action detection, wrong direction detection, deny list with perhaps facial recognition or vehicle recognition, gender age detection, license plate recognition, left objects or abandoned objects, parking solutions. You have also heat maps inside retail, loitering that could be in banks and many other like industrial zones. PPE is the personal protective equipment. This is how you make sure that people are wearing their gloves and their helmets and their like safety attire in an industrial environment like oil and gas. So some use cases. So loitering, for example, if you have somebody like standing by the ATM waiting for somebody in order to maybe attack them. So this could be like an alarm or an alert. Same like inside the train station if somebody is staying there for a long time. So this is a useful use case. Crowd detection is an important use case, and it's in many areas. So it could be in train station, it could be in areas where you have like public attendance. If the number of people like exceeds a certain amount, then you can do certain actions. Like for example, you can decrease the flow into the train station, or you can increase the number of trains and so on. So plenty of like actions that you could do based on the information that you get from, or the feedback that you get from the industry itself or the client. So here, somebody snatching like a bag and running inside the train station. So detection of action. Also, this is a difficult model, and it's quite expensive in terms of like CPU compute. But it's an important model because you can detect running, you can detect fighting, you can detect also slip and fall, people like standing and just people who would fell because of sickness or because of like a coma or something. Then the camera could spot them and generate an alert so that they can get the medical assistance that's needed. Detection of fires. That's in open environments. In closed environments, of course, smoke detectors work very well, but in open environments, you need a tool, and the best tool would be like a camera for detecting smoke and fire. This is how you detect the PPE. So you detect the helmet, you detect that the person is not wearing a vest here, for example. You could detect the gloves, you could detect the boots, and all the safety attire. And this is very important because it ensures that certain industries are compliant with the safety precautions. Otherwise, they get a lot of penalties. So that's helpful, very helpful for them. This is traffic violations. How many people got like a seat belt or okay, or like a phone? So this is how it's done. So usually the camera would detect the. So this is just running through traffic light, but you can also detect changing lanes, wrong direction. You can detect like illegal parking, and you can detect the mobile and the seat belt. This is to detect the traffic, so to get an assessment of the traffic flow and what type of cars are in the traffic, and you can just count the motorcycle, the car, the truck, etc. This is facial recognition. So for example, in a bank, if you want to have a deny list of people who are troublemakers, and you want to make sure that these people, when they show up at the bank, because they usually like come and try to cheat on the people in the back with lesser type of education. So you want to make sure that once these people are spotted, then they can be detected and somebody can confront them. By the way, this is an employee of AvidBeam, so this is in retail. So you have here. You can have you can count. You can have many counts inside the corridor, and you can also have the conversion of people like entering into the store. So you can have count of people moving in the corridor versus people entered the store. And this way, the mall owners can detect or like can determine the least price that they can put on the stores that are in the mall, because they can tell them, oh, you get that much crowd inside like inside your area, so it's up to you to attract the customers. But like I get like at least 5,000 people walking through your store. If you get only like 3 people entering, then you have a problem. And also same thing if they are like, for example, having a discount or having like a marketing campaign, they can really detect the effectiveness of this marketing campaign based on the number of people that are entering into their stores. And also you can get the customer journey, you can get the heat maps, so many things that you could do. And also the dwell time in front of the merchandise. So that's something that you could do with video analytics. Crowd detection, you know where that is? So crowd detection is a very difficult problem. And in Hajj and Umrah, this is a very difficult problem that has been around like for so many years, and they're still trying to solve it. So that's one of the tools also for detecting the crowd and doing crowd management. Here, like you're detecting that a security guard is not present where they're supposed to be present. So once they're not present, then an alert will be generated. This is like at the entrance of a bank or an entrance of an institute. Same here with the ATM. You can detect that this ATM is not being attended by anybody. So that could be a flag. If you have like many people like attending on a particular ATM while the other ATM is not being attended, that means that this ATM is broken or something wrong with it, and you have to go and fix it. Here, the customer is standing and there is no teller and there is no agent in front of them. And this is also something that needs the attention of the supervisor. Excuse me. This is a parking solution. This is something that we're doing actually in Riyadh. This is deployment in Riyadh. So we're using your mobile phone. You can look up the empty spaces, and you can reserve your space, and you can go and find your slot and park, and then pay automatically with your phone. So this way you can detect. So what we do is that we could detect the empty spaces, and we could detect also the violators. So if people are like, for example, they are parked in double parking, or they are parked and they haven't paid, they can be spotted. Now, creative AI. Creative AI is very interesting. If you want to combine computer vision with creative AI, there are plenty of new use cases that could be generated. However, generative AI has 2 problems today. The first problem is not real time, still slow. So that's one big issue. You may find that it may take maybe like a few seconds, but few seconds in real-time application is a lot of time. So it's not really feasible to use it unless the application is not really real-time. The second problem is that it requires a lot of hardware. So the ChatGPT and DeepSeek and these guys, even though they say that they use less hardware, but still the hardware that they use is humongous. The amount of GPUs that they use is humongous. So the model has to be reduced, has to be optimized quite a bit to be like suitable for real-time deployment, also suitable for deployment with the enterprises that demand it. But if we combine computer vision with generative AI, what we could do is that we can provide generative AI with an image, and they can tell us what's inside this image. Like, for example, they can tell us the fire, where is the location of the fire that was the alert that was generated by computer vision. There's a fire in a certain place. Generative AI can give you a description of what's going on inside the scene. So all you have to do is just give it the scene. It can provide this. And there are so many use cases that you could apply here. Like, for example, what's called visual pollution. So you could perhaps maybe inside the streets, you could take a shot of like a scene and ask generative AI to tell you what you see in the scene. And sometimes like you could find things like a broken lamp or a broken post, could be a remainder of like construction remains. There could be like water in the street. So all of these are visual pollution alerts that you could like flag, and then like the city can come and fix all of this. So generative AI is very useful, and once combined with computer vision, there are a whole new set of use cases. And this is like a very green field. If somebody's looking for new research areas, it's a very interesting field to apply. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about the AI ethics in computer vision. So we have like computer vision, of course, requires you to like gather data sets and use these data sets for training. And then afterwards, you apply the models using the training from the data sets that you got. However, like of course, after GDPR, the data sets completely disappeared from the internet, and you have to either generate your own data or use like clever tools for generating data. Statistic data usually doesn't work. And what you have to do, perhaps maybe with generative AI, there is a possibility to generate data that is close enough to the to reality. But otherwise, like previously, synthetic data, like using some of the conventional tools, are not really very useful. So bias and fairness. So the first one is really very important. Sometimes when you, for example, train for like faces in Asia, for example, and try to apply this on the Middle East, or try to apply it on Africa, it may not work. And that may create like a lot of false positives, or could create like a lot of problems with like false detections. And that you have to make sure that the model that you train for is applied in the geo that's supposed to, that is like fit for for that model. Otherwise, there will be like a lot of problems. Of course, there's a lot of issues about privacy and cameras, and a lot of people don't like cameras and so on. But cameras really like creates security and safety for a lot of people. So this is something also that you need to like honor and respect the privacy of people once you're attempting to do computer vision. Accountability and transparency. So this is also you want to make sure that the model itself, you understand what the model you can explain why the model is behaving this way. And sometimes like we don't know why AI is behaving this way, and this is a big problem. And if we don't like have this accountability, then perhaps maybe it will create a lot of problems. And that's why, by the way, perhaps maybe autonomous vehicles have not are not like deployed in a big way. It's not because of technology. Technology is ready. It's more because the accountability itself is not there yet. It's more regulations. How you make sure that if there is a problem, who to blame? Are you going to blame the car company? Are you going to blame the algorithm? Are you going to blame the scientist who created the AI model, or like the owner of the vehicle who has, I mean, that's an autonomous vehicle, so it has no driver. So that's an important thing. Then autonomy and control. For example, in autonomous vehicles, everything is autonomous, but also giving all the decision to AI could be really dangerous. Sometimes, like if the model is faulty somehow, then it will create like disastrous problems. So you need to have always the review. Or, for example, even for traffic violations, and how many like got a traffic violation of the seatbelt when they were actually wearing the seatbelt, and that happens too. But so there has to be a person who's like verifying these the traffic violations. There has to be a human to verify the traffic violations. Otherwise, some of these decisions could be completely false. Data collection and consent, you need to make sure that people are okay with like providing the data and you get their consent. Security risks and misuse, this is quite like unfortunately popular these days, that people are doing a lot of impersonation, doing a lot of attacks on personality and using this personality to, I myself like got this multiple times where people would just impersonate me with my photo and try to get money from from friends or like colleagues at work. And this is like, unfortunately, it's becoming like very popular these days. So we need to have like the good precautions to make sure that this is not happening with AI, though it's difficult. Of course, there's the big issue of impact on employment. And indeed, yes, it could impact employment, but at the same time, AI is generating a lot of employment today. I mean, there are plenty of universities. There are plenty of universities who are like teaching AI. There are plenty of professors, plenty of students who are studying AI. Plenty of students are working or like plenty of employees who are working in AI companies. So there's also this aspect of employment generation. And then, of course, ethical use in content generation. That's quite important. You know about deepfake and what's happening these days with all of these like new videos and new images, making Trump say like funny stuff and things like that. So ethical use in content generation is also an important aspect. Finally, this is my last slide. So what we're saying here is that we're still in an early adopters phase. So we're barely scratching the surface on the video analytics applications. Of course, efficiency will drive the scalability and sustainability. Big data and the deep learning tools, and of course, generative AI will pave the way for solving a lot of these mysteries and uncertainties. And I'm happy to take any questions.